to LJN Productions Backstage. I am your host, Lionel Nelson. Well, today we have backstage with us the very renowned Tomeka McCullough. How you doing, Tomeka?
I'm well. I'm doing good.
Good. I'm glad you're able to join us here today.
Thank you.
So, listen, as we begin to get started here, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am a Floridian. I was born and raised here in Miami, Florida.
Okay.
To go into specifics about me and acting and getting into theater, I've been doing this for 10 years, but mainly in the church walls.
Right.
This time I stepped out.
Okay.
And I just stepped out in faith and I auditioned and got the part as Cora,
Yeah.
Rose's mom.
Yeah. How about tell us a little bit about your character in the play?
Okay, well, Cora, who is Rose's mother,
Okay.
is a wealthy woman in her 50s, widow.
Yeah.
Her history is very, very broad, very to the point as far as her herself has been a part of domestic violence.
Okay.
And as far as now, she lived a life, she protected her daughter of the life of domestic violence.
Right.
And now, her daughter, she noticed her daughter is going through the domestic violence.
Okay.
So I'm not going to give you much about the production.
Yeah, don't give it all away.
We're going to just let you just get excited about the production. But let me just let you know, you all know, that you have to see it and you have to tell your friends. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. So listen, in what way do you feel your character is significant in domestic violence?
I feel that Cora is significant as a mother and as a woman.
Right.
What I mean by that, because as a mother, domestic violence, first of all, comes in many forms.
Yeah.
And sometimes as mothers, how we speak, how we raise our children, whether it's a girl or a boy, determines their life.
That's true.
It determines what they bring to their relationship as a husband or wife. And I feel as though that Cora played a big part of Rose's relationship with her husband.
Okay. I know you said that Rose's mother, you being the mother, you played a significant part in raising Rose and then also in the relationship with her husband. But in what impactful way would you say? What did you give? What would you say that Cora gives Rose in the play, in the production?
Well, I feel as though that Cora plays both sides. She is the loving mother. She's also the discipliner. And then there's one more role as well. She's a defender. Because even though Rose is still her child, even though everything is what it may be, that's still her child.
Right. So would you say, though, that is it possible that every victim of domestic violence has a defender?
I believe they do.
Right.
Personally speaking,
I
believe they do. And they come in all levels and all degree of, defense.
That's good.
It just depends. And sometimes the person who could be the abuser in the relationship could very well be that relative, could be that father, or could be that mother. And it just depends on the whole scenario and the whole concept of it.
Okay, that's good. So what are you striving to achieve through your character in Love Me Like a Rose?
I am striving to achieve something that I can look back in my childhood and see that happened with me.
Wow, that's powerful.
I'm a product of a strong woman growing up. She was in law enforcement, but I'm also a product of the mental abuse that later on went to the physical abuse.
Wow.
I'm a product of not being around family and the relationship that I was in went wrong.
Okay.
But I'm also a victor in it all.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I had the best friend and and I had family members who came to me. And with the grace of God, it was just, I need to humble myself and let God bring me out of this.
So he helped you, huh?
He helped me big time.
Oh, that's awesome.
He helped me.
That's awesome. Well, let me ask the next question then. Are you yourself a victim? I think you alluded to that.
I
A
did.
victor, being a victor. Or do you know someone that's very close to you who is a victor of domestic violence?
Well, you're right. I did just mention that I was a victim, and my story was very unique in a
Okay.
sense. It's because it started when I was away from home,
Mhm.
and I did not tell my family.
Which is a lot of times a mistake that most.
A lot of times
Maybe.
that is the mistake, but it was God who brought me through,
Okay.
and how He brought me through was that best friend who just as crazy as ever, and I love her still today. But it was God and Him moving people in my life that really brought it to its stance. And then I have to give credit to my sister,
Okay.
Tracy, love you. But
Thank you, Tracy.
my sister is she's very strong.
Right.
But my sister is one of those types, and we get it from my mother.
Uh-huh.
We don't do that.
Right.
That was only words I needed to hear.
Okay.
We don't do
Okay.
that.
All right.
And because she was like, we don't do that. And it was that point that God really told, it was just that with me and God and me getting in His Word and my sister, just those words. We don't do that.
We don't do that, huh?
Get up.
All right.
And
we need to hashtag that. We don't do that. Hashtag we don't do that. Huh?
and it was really my sister. And,
That's great.
and
That's great.
my mother, she never directly said anything to me. My mother is one of those types, she demonstrates.
Okay.
But it was my sister. She was like, we don't do that.
Somebody's always speaking. Somebody's always coming to your defense.
It was.
It's just a matter of you just determining and
Listening.
deciding whether or not you want to listen.
Listening,
Or not.
yes.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So, in what words of wisdom or encouragement would you give to those who are victims in domestic violence, who may be going through experiencing it right now? What words of encouragement would you say to them?
The words of encouragement I would tell anybody, for one, seek Jesus.
Okay.
And then with you seeking Jesus, you have to really see your strength of being without that person. And taking, even though it may be small to you, but it's big enough for you to get out of the situation.
But what if they don't know Jesus?
That's the whole thing about it. And what's so great about Jesus is this. You know God.
Wow.
You don't know Jesus, but
Wow.
you do know God. And sometimes all it is you telling them, God, I need help. And that one person that God will send, maybe somebody on the street who you don't even know.
That's
Could be a
right.
person in the grocery store
Yes.
who you simply don't know. And it could very well be a child living in your house who you just never thought could say something to you.
That's true.
That is the best thing.
Right.
That's the best
Right.
answer. It doesn't always come from the television. It doesn't always come from you reading, you listening to your girlfriends. And sometimes, and I have to add this here to you,
Okay.
Mr. Lionel, is that sometimes your best friend could very well be the poison in your life.
Wow.
Because it's like, it's a trend. Oh, I went through this, girl. You'll just go through it. You'll get over it. Sometimes you don't get over
So you
it.
mean to tell me that you also get encouragement to stay in volatile situations
Sometimes
as
you
well?
do. Sometimes you very well do. And sometimes I call them poison.
Poison.
That's a poisonous relationship.
Right, right.
And sometimes you just gotta cut them off and be like, you know what, I'm better than this.
That's
and
good.
get up.
That's it. That's it. I like that. I like that. Well, hey, listen. Excellent interview.
Thank you.
Excellent interview.
Thank
Again, we're glad to have you.
Thank
you for joining us here on LJN Productions Backstage. Cora, Ms.
Thank
Tomeka
you.
McCullough, playing the role of Cora in Love Me Like a Rose. Yes,
Thank you.
LJN Productions will be presenting the stage production Love Me Like a Rose at the Lippman Theater, October 6, 2018, for a 7 p.m. show. We ask that you would go to www.ljnproductions.com and get your tickets today. We also want to add that a portion of the proceeds of all the ticket sales will be going to support a domestic violence agency. So listen, do your part, help us to do our part, go buy a ticket so that we can help bring an end to domestic violence.
Yes.
Thank you that you was able to join us. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good day.